You're listening to Turi Writers' She Said What podcast. I'm Turi, along with Marcy Persky. In this installment, you may or may not believe in astrology, but somewhere in the stars it is written that this month you are going to run into an extra helping of cluelessness.
I have a question.
Yes?
Because you're a much bigger traveler than I am.
Well, that's not saying much.
But when you have a trip planned,
Yes.
especially by, car, do you check the weather first before you get in the said car and start to drive?
Uh-oh. Okay, well, the spousal unit checks the weather compulsively. He checks the weather when he's going to walk the dog. He checks the weather before we travel. He checks the weather, I don't know, before he goes to bed at night in case he wakes up and it's not what he was expecting. And I'm not sure that the checking the weather is a function of having a smartphone that he just can't unglue himself from, or if he really gives a rat's patootie about the weather. But he has basically turned himself into the weather prognosticator of the neighborhood. Anybody who ever wants to know, he's checked 3 or 4 sources for weather, and he will gladly tell you ad nauseum about the weather we can expect. So I don't know if that was what you were hoping to hear.
Maybe he needs to come out this way and lecture people. People who live on the edge of stupidity, where our highways are closed. And I mean, you have sheriffs and police all up and down every highway to get in and out of Williams, Flagstaff, any place up here, because we have been in the midst of a giant winter storm. Of course, there was a massive pileup last night. Frankie was probably the last person who got through, and he actually made it home. Yeah, and highways are still closed, and people are still getting in wrecks. The highways are closed till tomorrow.
Well, I think what you're talking about here.
I don't understand why would you come this way?
I think it is connected to the whole I do my own research phenomenon. I think it is connected to the well, you're not looking at the right places. You need to look at the alternate facts. So you're looking at the I do my own research people, also the I hate science people, or more to the point, I don't believe in science people. These are the same people who 20 years ago just would have contented themselves with praying for a parking place. But now it's all different. Now they somehow believe they've got a hotline to the universe, and that if they want something, it will be available to them. So it doesn't matter if you have sheriffs stretched out across the road, ambulances, fire trucks, in their estimation of their own skills and then their own assessment of their level of deservedness. Why should any of the rules apply to them? Why should science apply to them? I'm kind of amazed they bother to drive at all. I'm kind of surprised they're not just jumping out of trees and expecting to fly.
Visibility was 0, and I mean 0. I couldn't see the driveway from my front window, which is maybe 6 feet. I don't know. I could not see that. Yet people were trying to drive on the highway, slamming into each other willy-nilly, and they're still doing it today, even though the highways are physically closed.
Do they?
Nobody go anywhere.
Do they?
I can't even get my mail.
Well, because the mail carrier.
Well, that's because I can't drive my car down the street.
Well, and that's wise of you. But what I want, if I lived there, I would walk down the mountain in my hip boots. Because if I lived where you lived, I'd be the kind of person who walks around in the winter in hip boots. And one of the many reasons I don't live up where you live is that I don't do those things. But if I did, then I would. And I would interview people and ask them in very indirect but polite ways.
Why are you a moron?
Why are you so stupid? That's exactly right. And that would be the interview that I would want. But I have to tell you, we have encountered here our very own giant serving of stupidity, and it's almost so stupid that I think if I mention it, my marriage would fall apart. but there were some bad pet decision making things that went on. And normally I don't miss an opportunity to say to the spousal unit, well, that was really not your brightest move. But this was so incredibly clueless that I didn't even bother because he was saying it to himself already. And then on the other, let's just put it this way, two pets got into it, and one of the pets belonged to somebody else. And of course we took responsibility. But the other person, equally clueless, we hand over our information. We say, please do what you need to do and we'll be responsible. And a day goes by, 2 days go by, and I have a feeling I know what's happening. It's wishful thinking on the other end of the connection here. And sure enough, on the 5th day, we get that phone call. So now instead of just a little visit to fix up the minor thing, if you leave a minor thing alone for a week, it's not a minor thing anymore. So we certainly,
it turns major.
Certainly, well, the money is major. So we certainly have, I mean, I don't know, a friend of mine who believes in astrology would chalk this up to an astrological thing she keeps talking about. I personally think that's right there up there with jumping out of a tree and expecting you can fly. But whatever it is, there seems to be some sort of tranche of stupidity that we've run right into. And I don't mean to sound like I hold myself above it, because the minute I say this, I'm going to go out and execute some amazingly stupid maneuver, and it will come right back on me. Speaking of stupid maneuvers, as I mentioned, I have a little surgical procedure at the end of next month, and I had to go on. You can't talk to anyone in the medical profession anymore. You must go through this giant interface that every single hospital is on. We'll just call them My Effed Up Life. So My Effed Up Life has a portal for every hospital, and so for 3 days, I try to get into the one for this particular hospital, and it keeps telling me there's a problem with my browser, and maybe someone is trying to hack the hospital system, and just be patient. It'll all be resolved any minute now. And after 3 days, I know what I'm in for. I put aside 2 hours to get this resolved, and I call the number, and I won't even go through the whole sequence, but twice the hospital connected with the My Effed Up Life portal for My Effed Up Hospital connected me to Steve in India for somebody else's hospital. And I got the same Steve in India twice. And I got two different direct numbers that supposedly would put me in touch with my hospital's tech department that sent me straight to Steve in India, the same Steve in India.
Okay.
He actually remembered that he had just spoken to me.
Did he tell you to unplug?
He laughed. He laughed.
Plug it back in.
No, this is because this is their portal. So now I call back a third time. This time I'm not nice. It took three messing me arounds with My Effed Up Life portal, and this time I say to them right out of the gate, I think I need to talk to a technical supervisor because this is my third call and it is not going well. And explain the situation. And they do. Nobody seems to be familiar with the old Nichols and May routine where you keep going up the chain of the phone company until you get the operator who says, oh, I'm so sorry. I finally got that person in tech support. And this is the part that really was amazing to me. She said, we've had that problem for about 3 weeks. I was in utter disbelief. You've what? You've had a problem where no patients can get a hold of their doctors, their pharmacy. Yes, she's and when they call you, they get sent to somebody else's hospital tech support for 3 weeks. She said, yes, that's about right. We filed ticket after ticket. And then she tells me there's a workaround, though. Get this. Now I have to make all my medical appointments on my phone.
Oh, no.
I know. It's
you have to talk to people?
I don't know. I have to make appointments. No, I can access their My Effed Up Life portal, but only on my phone. Maybe.
Oh, I hate portals.
Instead of having this whole luxurious screen in my studio, I have to plan my whole medical future on like a 4-inch by 4-inch phone. So it's not going well this week around here.
I hate technology. No.
I know you do.
Well, I'll tell you.
Yeah.
for the last 3 days. All I've wanted is a freaking pizza. Like, I need a pizza.
This happens every time you get snowed in. Every
I've
time
never
it's
needed
clockwork.
one so
Yes, you
badly.
have. The last time you were snowed in, you wanted a pizza. Same deal.
I need one. I don't even want it. I need it. It's like when you need a transfusion.
Yes.
I need this freaking pizza. And I was going to get it on Monday. Or no, yeah, I was supposed to get it Monday. I was too lazy. Tuesday, I went and got a haircut. And I told Frankie, I will bring home a pizza. But then I got done having my haircut and I was really tired. And I was like, yeah, maybe he'll get it. And then yesterday, or on Wednesday, he said he would pick up a pizza on his way home, and he forgot it. So that leaves us with snow just started dumping out of the sky.
Yeah, and you had to decide between your husband and a pizza.
Yeah, and I picked him. And the pizza place closed anyway. So, and they're closed again today.
I almost hate to ask you this.
I was going to jump in that big giant truck.
Do you know how easy it is to make a pizza?
I don't have anything to make a pizza with. I've got like a bunch of seasonings and brown sugar, and I don't have any pizza dough.
Okay, so
I'm not making a pizza. I'm making spaghetti and meatballs.
That's close. It's tomato and starch. I think that we need to have, they always put the stupidest things in those emergency roadside assistance packages you buy for your car. If you ever have an emergency, it's like, oh, thank you for the Band-Aid and the aspirin, but that really wasn't quite what I had in mind. I think you need to have an emergency pizza making kit in your kitchen because every stinking time that you get snowed in, you want a pizza.
Every time well, this is a long time to not be able to get in my car and go somewhere.
Think of the people.
My car all off just to tease me.
Think of the people who've been waiting just to get into this country for 5 years in refugee camps. Think of them.
No thanks. I just want a pizza. I send them pizzas.
Heartless woman. Heartless.
Yeah.
Right. Well,
being snowed in kind of makes you that way.
You should have at least a can of anchovies.
Okay, see now I don't want pizza anymore.
I'm glad I helped.
Thanks for listening to Tory Writer's She Said What podcast. We're glad you found us, and I hope you'll find my book, She Said What? A Life on the Air. It's all true, but I've changed the names of the people and the radio stations and a bunch of other stuff because I'd prefer not to get sued. You can find it at your neighborhood independent bookstore or on Amazon.